Hi there, I'm Claire. I'm 27 and I work as a smartphone app developer. I'm pretty much a homebody, love my peace and quiet, and prefer a good book or coding session to loud parties any day. My social circle is small, and dating has always been kind of a disaster for me. But all that changed one random day at a gift shop. I was just browsing, not looking for anything in particular, when I noticed this guy looking totally lost. He was standing there with a ceramic cat in one hand and a scented candle in the other, looking like he had no clue what he was doing. I couldn't help but laugh a little. "Need some help?" I asked, walking over to him. He looked up, looking relieved. "Oh God, yes. I'm trying to find something for my mom's birthday, but I'm completely clueless." I smiled. "Well, let's see what we can find. How about a nice vase? Moms love vases." "Yeah? That sounds good. I'm Tom, by the way." "Nice to meet you, Tom. I'm Claire." We spent the next few minutes chatting and looking at different vases. Tom was funny, making jokes about his lack of shopping skills, and I found myself laughing more than I had in a long time. After we found a vase he liked, we went to the checkout counter together. As we waited in line, he turned to me with a hopeful look. "Hey, Claire, would you maybe want to grab coffee sometime? I mean, if you're not too busy with all that app developing." I hesitated for a moment, but there was something about Tom that made me want to say yes. "Sure, why not? Coffee sounds good." We swapped phone numbers, and I left the store feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. I hadn't been on a date in a while, and I wasn't sure what to expect. But Tom seemed different, genuine, funny, and easy to talk to. A few days later, Tom texted me, and we arranged to meet at a cozy little coffee shop downtown. I arrived a bit early, nerves bubbling in my stomach, but when I saw Tom walk in, smiling and waving, I felt instantly at ease. We ordered our coffees and found a quiet corner to sit and chat. Tom was easy to talk to, and the conversation flowed effortlessly. We talked about our jobs, our favorite movies, and even our worst dating experiences, laughing over shared stories of awkward first dates. We'd been dating for a few months, and it was time for the next big step, meeting his parents. I was nervous, but Tom assured me they were nice people. When we got there, his mom, Mrs. Harris, greeted us at the door. She was a stern-looking woman with a cane, her eyes sharp and assessing. Tom's dad, Mr. Harris, was sitting in an armchair, barely looking up from his newspaper. "Mom, Dad, this is Claire," Tom introduced me with a big smile. "Hello, dear," Mrs. Harris said, looking me up and down. "Tom's told us a lot about you. Please, call me Evelyn. Come in, sit down." I sat on the edge of the couch, feeling like I was under a spotlight. Mr. Harris grunted a hello, but didn't say much else. "So, Claire," Evelyn started. "Tom tells us you work in tech?" "Yeah, I'm a smartphone app developer," I replied, hoping to keep things simple. Mr. Harris snorted from his chair. "Playing with toys, huh?" I forced a smile. "Not quite. It's more about creating useful tools for people." Evelyn leaned in, her eyes narrowing. "And how's the pay in that field? Decent, I hope?" I felt my cheeks flush. "It's good enough. I'm comfortable." Tom jumped in, trying to change the subject. "Mom, Dad, Claire's got a beautiful house. She inherited it from her grandmother." "Oh, really?" Evelyn's eyebrows shot up. "Where is it?" "It's not far from here. It's a cozy place, just the right size for me." Just then, Mr. Harris folded his newspaper and stood up. "I'm going to check the garden," he muttered, leaving the room. We walked outside, and I felt some of the tension ease away. Tom's parents were definitely a bit intense, but I could handle it. As we strolled through the garden, Tom looked at me with concern. "Sorry about my mom," he said quietly. "She can be a bit much." "It's okay, Tom. I can handle it," I replied, squeezing his hand. "She just wants the best for you." We spent a bit more time in the garden before heading back inside. Evelyn was waiting, her eyes still sharp but less intense. Did you enjoy the garden, Claire? She asked. Yes, it's beautiful. You have a lovely home. Thank you, dear. We're very proud of it. We chatted a bit more, and I started to feel a bit more relaxed. It wasn't the easiest conversation, but it was a start. As we got ready to leave, Evelyn gave me a quick hug. Thank you for coming, Claire. It was nice to meet you. A few months after meeting Tom's parents, we decided to get married. We both agreed on a simple ceremony, nothing flashy. I never liked big weddings, and Tom was on board with that. His parents weren't too thrilled, but they went along with it. The wedding day was pretty low-key. We had it at a small park, just a handful of friends and family. I wore a simple dress, and Tom looked good in his suit. After the ceremony, we had a small reception at a nearby cafe. It was simple, just good food and close friends. Tom's parents were there, of course. Evelyn, his mom, looked around with a critical eye but seemed more relaxed than usual. Congratulations, dear, Evelyn said, giving me a quick hug. The ceremony was nice. Thanks, Mrs. Harris. I'm glad you came, I replied, trying to keep things friendly. We mingled with our guests, keeping the atmosphere laid back. Our friends were cracking jokes and making toasts, and it was nice to see everyone enjoying themselves. We didn't have a traditional wedding cake, just a bunch of cupcakes for everyone. I picked out a chocolate one and took a bite. These are good, I said, offering Tom a bite. Yeah, they are, he agreed, getting frosting on his nose. As the night went on, I felt more relaxed and happy. It wasn't a grand event, but it was exactly what I wanted, a simple celebration with the people who mattered most. At the end of the night, Tom and I said our goodbyes and headed to my house, which was now our home. The house was perfect for us, with ramps and low steps, designed for my late grandmother's comfort. As we walked in, Tom's mom, Evelyn, looked around with a gleam in her eye. This house is very convenient, Claire. Perfect for someone like me, she said, giving me a meaningful look. Yeah, it's been great, I replied, feeling a bit uneasy. Evelyn kept looking around, clearly impressed. This place is really something. Your grandmother must have been quite thoughtful. As the evening wound down, I couldn't shake the feeling that Evelyn had plans of her own. But for now, I focused on starting my new life with Tom, hoping for the best. So, things had been pretty smooth after the wedding. Tom and I were settling into our routine when everything took a sharp turn. It all started one evening when his parents came over for dinner. Evelyn, Tom's mom, was looking around the house with that same gleam in her eye. It must be hard for you two to keep up with such a big house. I shrugged, not sure where this was going. We manage. It's not too bad. Later, as we sat down to dinner, Evelyn dropped the bombshell. Claire, Tom, I've been thinking. My house is just too difficult for me to navigate. I think it would be best if I moved in here. I almost choked on my food. Move in here? With us? Yes, she said, as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. It's just so much easier for me here. I looked at Tom, expecting him to say something, but he just nodded. Mom has a point, Claire. It would be easier for her. I couldn't believe it. Tom, we didn't even discuss this. We're discussing it now, Evelyn said, her tone firm. It's really the best solution. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. We need to think about this. It's a big decision. The next day, I came home from work to find movers unloading Evelyn and Mr. Harris's stuff into my house. I was furious. What's going on here? Tom met me at the door, looking sheepish. Mom and Dad are moving in. Claire, it's just for a while. They need a place that's easier for them. Evelyn walked in, acting like she owned the place. Claire, we need to move some furniture around to make it easier for me to get around. I was still trying to process what was happening. What do you mean, move things around? The bedroom on the ground floor, for starters. It's the best room for us. That's our bedroom, Evelyn, I snapped, my